For herbivores, the ultimate destination on the grazing bucket list is Serengeti National Park in the wet season. This UNESCO World Heritage Site measures 15,000 square kilometers and transforms considerably with the yearly cycle of precipitation. It is this cycle that creates one of the greatest spectacles of the natural world, as more than 1.5 million wildebeest migrate in a loop, along with other herbivores including zebras and gazelle, a spectacle that also attracts the continent's infamous predators, including lions and crocodiles. The Serengeti, however, is not the place to be during the dry season, when precipitation is greatest north of the border in Kenya's Masai Mara. The arrival of the wildebeest in the Masai Mara usually occurs around August, and the animals will stay here until the end of October, when the rainfall once again begins to increase. There are 2 rainy periods in this part of the world. The first runs from November to December and is known as the short rains. During this period, the wildebeest make their way south, as the proverbial grass quite literally becomes greener on the other side. It is after the short rains that one of the most incredible times of year unfolds. The wildebeest spend January, February and March in the south of the Serengeti, and it is during this period that calving season takes place. Around 500,000 wildebeest calves are born each year, which peaks at the end of February. Calves must grow up quickly in wildebeest society, as March and April bring the long rains and the beginning of the trek to the west of the Serengeti. It is at the end of this period that the savanna in this area is at its most lush. The month of May usually marks the end of rainy season and the beginning of another spectacular time of year. As the wildebeest approach the rivers that feed into Lake Victoria, the breeding or rutting season begins. This occurs between the months of May and June, and once complete, the priority of the wildebeest switches to the search for greener pastures to the north as the Serengeti begins to dry up. It is this part of the yearly migration from July to August that is the most famous, as 2 of the region's great rivers stand between the migratory herds and their destination in the Masai Mara. The crossing of the Grumeti and Mara rivers represents one of the most treacherous times of year for the wildebeest, with many thousands succumbing both to the river itself and the gigantic Nile crocodiles that await the stragglers and the weak. The average lifespan of a wildebeest is around 20 years, and for those in this region, the Great Migration is undertaken each year throughout their lives. As a side note, in case you were wondering